going, boos and ghouls? We are here back in Fishing Planet, and today we are talking about how to get your hands on the Bassy Bait. And really, it's fairly simple getting the Bassy Bait, but I will say getting the Terror Tarpon is another thing entirely. And so what you may find yourself doing is coming back and getting this Bassy Bait again and again and again. So let's go ahead. Let me show you what we're going to be using to get the Bassy Bait. We're going for bass that is less than 1.1 pounds. And to do that, we're going to be using small hooks and with small minnows. We're going to be casting, I guess, while we're waiting. And this really is dependent upon what your rod stand is. And remember that at the Everglades, you're going to be fishing off docks. So when you're looking at rod stands, you are looking at anything that has 3 legs, essentially. You want to make sure that it can stand up on the dock. You can't use these ones that stake in the ground because they won't work on the dock. So if you just can get this level 20 mono feeder rod stand, that will work, but you only have 1 rod versus the green pod rod stand that has 2 rods, or the power holder rod stand, 2 rods and 3 rods and so on. We're just going to be using the triple hold rod holder, which will allow us to fish with 3 different match rods. And I'm using match rods because I think it will be better off. It's fairly shallow in the Everglades, and so I am going to keep them fairly shallow as well, maybe around the 12 to 16, 18 inch mark. So we'll just kind of keep them around there, but we are using number 2 hooks. We can go lower to number 4 if we need to, but we are using small minnows. And we're just going to toss these out in any location that has bass, but we're specifically looking for largemouth bass. So that is really step 1 right there. I'm sure I popped it up by now, but get your rods together, as many match rods or float rods. There are some decent fish out here as far as gar or other, larger fish that might come around and grab this, but otherwise this should be a decent setup to get you going. As you can tell, these are pike rods, so they're going to be definitely okay for anything at the Everglades. And then I have the Majesty as well, which we might use for the Terror Tarpon afterward. But with this underway, get your license. It's a $2,000 difference. If you think you might catch another $2,000 worth of fish doing this, get the advanced license. Otherwise, basic license should work. But let's go ahead and travel to the Everglades. All right, step number 2. You join a random route if you want to. Honestly, either of these work fine. I like to start at the Infinite Tunnels, which is funny because I rarely fish there otherwise. But I think it is a good location for catching the Bassy Bait, and I'll show you exactly where we're going to cast. We are going to cast all 3 of our rods kind of along this bank over here. It's running really slowly right now. I apologize. It's loading in the map as we're walking. But we're just going to kind of cast along this bank here, and we should get our hands on some Bassy Bait, little 1.1 pound bass before we know it. Put down our rod stand. You can see a little fish. Hi, little fish. Change the time to... Actually, we might do okay fishing in this time for small fish. Let's give it a try. I'm going to give it a minute of just going along and fishing in this shallow area. So we got our number 2 hooks. We're just going to cast out along these lily pads, like so. This one out too. Cast this along lily pads. And one thing you might need to look out for is if the bobber gets pulled into the lily pads. At that point, you want to reel in and try elsewhere. We should be set there. So we have all 3 of our bobbers out. The minnows themselves are medium heavy bait, so we're using heavy floats. There's our first take there. I'll be interested to see what we got here. There are warmouth, I believe, that might take the bait. There's a young largemouth bass, but a 1.3, just over what we want there. We should have time to get this back out before we get that 3rd rod. Good deal, it's set up. And if we continue to catch larger fish, then that will be the deal. But this is really going into step 3, is just catching these fish. There's one right there, so top notch. We can keep that. Catch largemouth bass. Doesn't matter if you release them or keep them. But that is 1 of the 5 we need right there. So that is good. We'll just toss this back to where we caught that one. But now into step 3, like I said, we are just fishing and keeping the 5 young ones that we catch. So that is our goal at the moment. All right. So like I've said, other things you might catch out here, warmouth. Obviously, they have the peacock bass that might be interested in this. This looks like another one, though. Nice. So we're doing okay, man. So far, I don't want to jinx myself. But yeah, don't even have to fish in a really good time frame or anything. We're just fishing in the worst time of day at the moment. But because it's the worst time of day, we're catching the smaller fish, right? Which is exactly what we're going for. Let's see if this guy, oh, we might lose that one to low line tension. Ooh, just over, just over. It's working though. Warmouth, you might catch gar, you might catch the peacock, like I said. And what's the last one I'm trying to think of? What are you called? There you are. The bowfin. Bowfin might come along and grab it as well. So it does help to not have like super light float rods, you know, 6-pounders, something like that. Because if you do have a decent gar or bowfin or something like that, you don't want it to break the line. Hey, the number 3 there, top notch. We are doing okay. That is number 3. There we go. I will say I held back my excitement a little bit, but I am excited to see that you get 15 Bassy Bait from this mission because I really do think back in the day you used to only get 5, and it was really easy to run out of bait going for the Terror Tarpon. So I'm glad they gave us more. I might be crazy. I might be crazy about this, but I feel like in my bones we used to only get 5 or something like that. Just like the eel cannibal monster. I ran out of bait twice for that guy. Alright, does I pause the recording and get the last one coming in here? Maybe? Come on now. Come on now. Be small. How often do you hear yourself say that playing this game? Oh, he's too big. Oh. Here we go. Another take. Another take. That is it right there. That's 5 out of 5. Nice. Got our hands on the 5 small largemouth bass that we needed to get the Bassy Bait there, everyone. So top notch. I tell you what, if this was helpful, obviously like and subscribe. We're going to follow this video up with going after the Terror Tarpon, so hopefully you are ready for that, because that is a beast and a half. One of my favorite models of fish monsters in the entire game, honestly, so looking forward to it. If you want to join us for our live streams every Wednesday night, 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Central, make sure you do so. Would love to see you there, but otherwise, we'll catch you in the next episode, everyone. Hopefully you're enjoying these Halloween videos as per usual, but as I've said in the past, you can catch these fish monsters any time of year. Doesn't need to be Halloween. So long as you have in your missions these fish monster missions and you can accept it, you can do them no matter the time of year. So anyway, hope you're enjoying it. If you are, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode. As always, everyone, stay spooky, my friends.
We're one planet, one family. Game on.